Well, it appears that our FA Cup run is destined to come to an end today because we face Manchester United in the fifth round just after we snuck a 1-1 draw against them in the league. And in January, it has been a busy time. We've had one change to our first 11 with the summer in mind, and we almost had a second as well. So let's go and reflect on our new signing who is cup tied for this game and see if we can produce the magic of the FA Cup. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 7 of this FM09 Let's Retro save from Fulham as we return today for a big FA Cup tie and another tough clash against Tottenham in the Premier League as we look to continue what has been a pretty solid first season. We're starting to improve in front of goal very slightly with that new tactic up front with holding it up with a striker, and we're also starting to find some quality to add to the team. We almost got a centre half in January, but unfortunately a player rejected a move away, which meant we then couldn't afford it. And we have had a change in one other position in our first 11 where the deals out and in did go through. So if you're looking forward to finding out about them, seeing how we get on in these two today and so much more, then please do chuck a thumbs up on it. But for now, let's go and start with the transfer centre because it's been a busy old January for us. So, first things first, this screen gives us an idea of some of the activity that came about in January, and two of the things I'm really interested in here are Skelbred and Albin, because they're two players that we signed in the summer, and we've been offered 3 or 4 times the price to sell them in January, which I found really interesting. Shows that our recruitment is good, shows that they are superstars and doing well, but also shows that clubs are willing to come and buy our players. If we manage to find some cheap ones across the water and bring them over, that could be a pretty interesting future plan for us. We have, though, got a couple of players who we rejected bids for outright, that being Breda Hangelen primarily. I did want to add a centre-half partner alongside him, which would have been Papi Diakate. He's not coming in, and you can see why I wanted him from this screen, can't you? He's not coming in because Aaron Hughes rejected a move to Everton. So unfortunately, we didn't then have the money to bring Diakate in, so that one will have to move forward to the summer. As you saw in the last episode, Timothy Atuba is coming in the summer. He'll come in and probably be our backup left fullback, but it will depend on the quality of the squad at the time. And then Collins John in the reserves, I would have liked to have kept him on, but realistically, he's not great. And to go to Larissa after doing okay over in the Netherlands, that makes sense for him and for us. So no point of us offering him a massive upgrade on the wages to not play. He gets to go over there and be a superstar, so good luck to him. Let's look at the history though, because then you can see the area of the team we have had a bit of a facelift, and that position is left fullback. It is an exact swap, 5.5 million each way, but have we got an upgrade? You'll be the judge of that. Before we go and look at that one, though, Julian Gray has moved on to Birmingham. He was barely featuring for us. We've got John Fleck as a youngster who can cover out there. Plenty of options. I thought we might as well do it. 500 grand for someone who was going to go for free in the summer. It's a great deal, considering he was barely going to play. Other players have gone out on loan as well. Wayne Brown, Chris Smalling and Adam Watts all on deadline day. But Paul Konchesky is the big departure in January. Again to Everton, £5.5 million. Seems they want our whole squad. He is going to go there as a left fullback. He's a brilliant player. But he's probably not better than what we've bought in, and he's also 4 or 5 years older. So, considering the last couple of episodes, he's had an absolute clanger and cost us in both games, it makes sense that we let him go. And I think we've got a slight upgrade, a younger player with bigger potential, and potentially more money coming into the club later as well. So, Paul Konchesky, a good player, but we've got to start upgrading. We've got to be ruthless. And Jose Enrique from Newcastle, who I'm surprised we were able to attract, is a man who enables us to do that. As you can see from the physical attributes and the mental attributes, for the most part is better across the board. He's only 23 years of age, and while I do feel bad because I threw him in the day he signed and he didn't have a great game, but he's had one other good one as well. He's a very good player. He will improve slightly. I'm very happy to have him here. I think it's the right deal for the club. When I was getting these offers, I was looking at what I could get in for the equivalent value. When I saw I could probably sell Aaron Hughes and get Diakate, it's a no-brainer. The same probably applies for Konchesky and Jose Enrique. Might have been a tougher call if they were the same age, given the homegrown quota and that. But for a 23-year-old, no doubt whatsoever, he's going to be a superstar for us. Let's see what all that's done for the fixtures though. We've not played many off camera, but what we have done is scored more goals because you were with me as we got 3 in the league for the first time against Stoke City. Bobby Zamora with the brace off the bench. We then did the same the very next game against Newcastle. Clint Dempsey, Breda Hangeland and a Kasapa own goal were able to get us the 3 points in that one. Paul Konjeski had a stinker again, was at fault for the goal we conceded. A week later in the FA Cup, we rotated a fair bit against Bristol City, sort of a half and half team if you like. But Breda Hangeland and then off the bench Bobby Zamora secured us a 2-1 victory as Skelbred made his comeback as well, which was lovely to see. And then against Manchester United 2 weeks ago, the exact fixture we're going to be playing in this one, Zoltan Gira nicked us a point as we drew 1-1 against Manchester United. And then away to Ewood Park a week later, another 1-1 draw, our favourite score. Jose Enrique didn't have the best start to his time at the club, and Pierre Skelbred scored a goal, his first one since coming back, and that certainly makes me feel a bit more confident in midfield, because we were struggling to pick someone there. You had Murphy, you had Gira, you had Dempsey, all doing a job covering in there, but Skelbred is the man, and if we can get him fit and firing, we've got a chance. Today we face Manchester United, but we have got a problem on that front, because as well as them being better than us and being very good this season, we have got to face the fact that we've not got a left back because Jose Enrique is cup tied and we let Paul Konjeski go. So it's the competition where this does harm us slightly. If you look at the bench, my options are to bring in either Tony Callio or Frederick Storr, and I'm going to bring in the latter, who is the better player and the better fullback, albeit probably not suited to this, and Pascal Zuba-Bula will come onto the bench because you've got to have a goalkeeper for a game like this. Skelbred, as you can see physically, just struggling a little bit. And the league is important, but this is a big FA Cup game. So I'm going to stick with him in there. We're without Musa Sissoko. We're without Simon Davis. So we've always had those few injuries this year. And Andy Johnson has been playing really poorly. So I'm actually going to bring Bobby Zamora back in. This means our 11 for today is going to be like this, I think. Do I bring Dempsey back in as well? Because Gira has had a couple of trickier games. I think I'm going to leave Zoltan Gira for now. This will be the squad for today's match. In goal, we've got Mark Schwarzer with Pansil and Freddie Storr, the fullbacks. Hughes stays at the club and is alongside Breda Hangeland. Decor drops one into the holding role due to the absence of Sissoko, with Dixon a two-hoop providing the legs in the middle. He's alongside the returning pair Skelbred, with Gira and Albin, the star of the season, out wide. And up front is Bobby Zamora, who has been the informed striker of the two. Let's get him in the shop window for the summer and see how we get on in the FA Cup. Well, here we go. A little bit of rotation in the FA Cup for United. Johnny Evans, Zoran Tozic, Anderson coming in, but it's still Rooney, Tevez, Ronaldo, Scholes, Patrice Evra, Edwin van der Sar. It's not the weakest side in the world, is it? We did get a 1-1 draw 2 weeks ago, though, so let's have a little bit of confidence and let's tell the lads they can win this game because the FA Cup is magic and you never know. Although, look at their bench. Vidic, Ferdinand, Hargreaves, Giggs, Berbatov, Welbeck. That is ridiculous. Might be one of the strongest benches you'll ever see. As Zamora takes the kick-off, the core wide to Storr. I'd really like a positive start here, but I don't see how easy it's going to be. Zamora flicks on, but there's nobody there. We have had a better few weeks going forward, but in a game like this, it's going to be a much tougher test as Anderson gets the ball to Rooney. I'm just a little bit upset that we couldn't get that centre-half deal done because it would have made a big difference physically as Tozic has beaten Pansil. He's supposed to be the weak link in their attack. Cleared by Decor, but only as far as Evans. We've already settled into this pattern of everyone behind the ball as there you go. I said I was a little upset we didn't get that deal done at centre-half. Rooney out-muscles Hughes, just turns him, spins him, gets in behind. He's better in every physical attribute and he scores to make it 1-0. A minute gone. Aaron Hughes gives away the goal, and that's why I wanted to make the change in January. We'll have to wait to the summer now. The FA Cup run is going to be over. As 10 minutes on the clock, we return with Zoran Tozic throwing into Tevez. Hughes tries to close him down. Skelbred does really well to be fair, and Zamora will give Johnny Evans a chase here. Can he force him backwards? He does. Van der Sar gets it, but we're not getting high enough up the pitch. Brown finds Scholes, and he's got space because that's the side that Skelbred is trying to get forward. Rooney gives it away to Freddie Storr, and now Albin can break. 9 assists this season. He's definitely been the star since coming in. And he's definitely benefited from us changing the midfield shape. As Skelbred gets into the box. Good delivery. Out to Dixon, a two who can't get it under control. Anderson did just enough against him as Pencil goes to Gira on the right, gives it away, and Hughes up against Tevez, loses out again. Quarter of an hour gone. First chance we've had there. You can see from the match ratings, Aaron Hughes is in the 4s. As Tevez at the back post beats Hughes to it again, who does block this one. If we could have just got that deal done, how different things could have been. One shot on target apiece though. It's not the worst start in the world. Manchester United definitely the better side as Wes Brown heads over the bar. We survive again with 20 gone, but it's going to be hard work to stay in this game. Well, we're approaching the half an hour mark and we return with Zamora playing it down the line to Albin on the left. Back to Freddie Storr. He's got support inside from Olivier Dacour here, who finds a great ball out to Albin. Options in the middle if he can cross it. Beats Anderson, who does really well in the end. Just hooks it over his head and away, as Hangeland gets the clearance in from the long ball, but gives it away to Scholes. Rooney's taken on Aaron Hughes, and as you would expect, embarrassed him. Maybe I'll bring on Chris Baird at half-time, just try and change something, because he can't cope. We're struggling to get the attacking players into the game. Guerra's barely had a kick. Bobby Zamora's not really got involved. Maybe it's time for pace. Your Andy Johnsons, your Clint Dempsey's coming in, I don't know. Aaron Hughes is starting to recover now. 10 to the break. We haven't yet had a second shot of the match, which is a worry. As Tozic is throwing from the left again. Looks for Rooney. Hughes wins this one. Out to Tozic again. Guerra gets in. Fouled by Tozic. Good defending, helping out his fullback there. Skelbred struggling physically too. We're going to have some tough decisions to make from the bench here. If we concede another, I probably take Skelbred off and think about the league. But if not, we've got to try and win the cup tie. As Tozic gets it from Neville. Down the right-hand side. Freddie Storr beaten. Hughes against Rooney. He's lost it again. He was a very solid Premier League defender, Aaron Hughes. But in this game, if you're a centre-half and you're not brilliant in the tackle, in the air, strong or quick, you just can't cope. The reading of the game bit just doesn't work in these old FMs. And unfortunately, Aaron Hughes is getting found out. It's such a shame because we had the replacement ready. As Hangeland's up from the corner, it's over the bar. So now, rather than worrying about performance, I think we're going to look at fitness, get Skelbred off, get Guerra off, look after the team. But there are so many candidates performance-wise. Atuhu not good enough for the level. Aaron Hughes having a mare. And at half-time, we're going to be out the FA Cup because it's 2-0. And we ain't scoring 2, I can assure you that much. Let's see the subs we can make here. I'm going to say I want to do better because I haven't actually played well. And we'll give it another 10 minutes. I've got to pick 2 really from Guerra, Zamora and Hughes. As Tozic has got the corner kick. Ronaldo's in. That is some of the worst marking. Oh my God, it's Aaron Hughes again. Where's the marking, Aaron? It's got to be him. It's got to be him. We're going to take Zamora off for Johnson. We're going to take Hughes off for Baird. And then we're going to take Skelbred off for John Fleck. Just because we might as well give the youngster a good run out while we can. Not his best position, I know. But Aaron Hughes has single-handedly cost us this game. It's been an absolute joke how badly he's been beaten up here. And we put him out of his misery just in time. Just 2 minutes later, though, and United are on the attack again. And I don't fancy Chris Baird's chances of being much more successful. Guerra wins the challenge. Atuhu beaten to it by Paul Scholes, though he does win it back the second time. Andy Johnson to Albin. Cutting in from the left. Scholes slides in. Albin finds Guerra still, though. Does well against Patrice Evra. Gives it to Andy Johnson. Lovely turn. Good effort. And an Edwin van der Sar save. He's a very good goalkeeper. But nice to see us creating something there. As Albin breaks away again. United, you'd feel, will think they've got the job done. And if they've got Europe or something in midweek, they might start resting people. As Albin gets it down the left from Fleck. Into the box he goes. Beats Gary Neville like he's not there. And forces a good save from van der Sar. He's tormenting his former club. Is Edwin, the experienced keeper. We've actually had more shots on target in this game. I don't know how, because United have scored 3 goals and they weren't own goals. So how have they only had 2 shots on target? Well, with just over 15 to go, it's been a comprehensive defeat as Andy Johnson gets down the left. But what's upsetting is, it's not been an even game, but we've been in it. It's just that we've had one man who's been completely outclassed by his opposition striker. And it's a man who rejected a move away for big money in January. It was a good... I think it was about 5.5 million altogether again. As Fleck gets it to Andy Johnson. Back to Atuhu. Has support from Olivier Dacour, who is gaining fitness and confidence in midfield. Out to the left-hand side towards Albin, who keeps it in on the byline. Chance to cross, delivers a good one. Everon van der Sar go there, and Edwin van der Sar wins it again. Please give us Edwin back. Fulham legend. Get Steve Finnan in there while you're at it as well. As Scholes goes from distance over the bar, and United are having a bit of fun here. Well, good news. Carlos Tevez has been taken off. Bad news. Dimitar Berbatov replaces him. Does lose that header to Dacour, though. He's out for another corner. Juan Albin putting the pressure on. It is funny that we've had more shots on target in this game as Anderson goes up. Only as far as Andy Johnson, but loses out to Giggs, who's also on. Not a bad bit of quality coming onto the pitch, is it? 10 minutes remaining. I think we can call the cup tie over. But we'll get to see the John Pansel throw in. I just want to keep the run of goal scoring going, to be honest. Be nice to get Andy Johnson off the goal drought. Be nice to get young John Fleck a goal. Someone like that could pop up. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. And United are shoring things up by bringing on Nemanja Vidic, just in case their defence wasn't strong enough. So 3-0 defeat for Fulham. That doesn't reflect the game. But ultimately, we've not got good enough players in certain positions. We know that already. And it's that patience that we're going to have over the next year or two while we replace and upgrade Hughes and Pansel, Schwarzer as he gets to the end of the road, Gira or Dempsey on the right, Atuhu, Dacour, etc. We're not going to be able to upgrade them all at once. We've got to sell to buy, and then we've got to bring in younger players that need to develop. So it's going to take 2 or 3 years to get to where we want with this 11. But for now, we're still competitive. Just unfortunately, we've got a defender who got outclassed. A 3-0 defeat here. Can we bounce back against Spurs in the league? Let's go and find out and see what impact that would have on the Premier League table. Well, it's time for a proper mid-table Premier League battle as 9th face 10th as Tottenham Hotspur host us in the Premier League. Let's have a look at the league table, which is interesting now because while you would say on 34 we might need another win for survival, it's taken a very 2024-25 season vibe in the Premier League this year because the teams in the relegation zone since we played them in December have not picked up points. Hull are on 13, Bolton are on 14, almost certainly the 3 sides that are going down, and we're almost certainly safe already on 34. So our 10 draws this season maybe look better than they were at the time. And now, if those 3 go down, I'd actually be pretty pleased. So I think there's a few players that I would like to sign from them. They may be on the cheap if they get relegated. So we're going to look ahead to this mid-table, and there's not really much left to play for this year. Now we're out of the cup. It is about can we maximise our league position. Realistically, 9th is probably the limit of our ambitions, but Tottenham Hotspur are a very good side. So if we can compete with them and Aston Villa, it shows that we're doing a very good job because I think they're 2 sides that I would have had almost certainly above us. Let's go and have a look at the match preview though, and of course at the team we've got to face. Tottenham are in Europe, which maybe does explain some of it for them. They won 4-3 in the FA Cup at the weekend, 3-1 on Thursday night against Werder Bremen. That'll be a very good Werder Bremen side in this save as well. Saviola's gone there up front, but they've got Diego, Hunt, Ozil. They used to have some class players in this team. Per Mertesacker and Naldo at centre-half, Weiser and Passanen. I mean, that's a great result to beat them 3-1. But I'll still have to focus for the second leg, which may help us out today. We go through to the team selection. We're going to go back to full strength where possible. Jose Enrique will return at left back. First time you'll get to see him on camera. Callio will drop off the bench for Freddie Storr. Sissoko will come in for Dixon Atuhu with Dacour going further forward again. And that means that Atuhu will replace Zubabula on the bench. On the right-hand side, Simon Davis not quite fit, so we'll bring Dempsey in for Zoltan Gira. And then the final one is going to be Andy Johnson in up front with Bobby Zamora starting to struggle now as well. So Callio and Zubabula drop out of the squad entirely. The rest of the team, though, I think is as strong as it can be. Aaron Hughes will keep his place despite the poor performance last week. Not sure we'll fare any better against the pace of Defoe and Keane. It means we've got Schwarzer in goal. We've got Pansel, Hughes and Hangeland joined by Jose Enrique at left back for the first time on camera. Sissoko comes back in a holding role. Dacour and Skelbred ahead of them. And then Dempsey in on the right wing. Albin stays on the left. And Andy Johnson up front. Can he produce the goals for us? He hasn't scored in a long time. We could do with him getting back on track today. Well, here is the Tottenham team just as it was starting to build in quality. Back when Bale was a left back, Luka Modric was playing out wide in midfield. They've still got Jamie O'Hara in there. It's a real mixed match, isn't it? let's go and have a look at the bench they've got, because we're going to tell the boys they can win this. We're going to go into the first half. They've got Darren Bent on the bench, Genus, Lennon, Dawson. It's not a bad side. The thing that worries me is while they're pretty decent physically, Keane and Defoe have got plenty of pace. We've seen how many Defoe scored this year. I mean, I don't see how we stop him. Let's go through. He caused us a lot of trouble in FM06. Let's see if he does the same in 09. As into the first half we go. I'll take a nice quiet game. Though it's a Gareth Bale free kick. There you go. He's producing some of that world-class magic already. Gareth Bale puts them one up with a stunning set piece. Unfortunately, with 6 gone, we're behind yet again. Not the best episode, this is what happens when you show the top sides every week. Well, 15 minutes on the clock and we've got a goal kick with Mark Schwarzer up towards Johnson, who, if he can get in behind Chorluka, may give us an opportunity. It's a long clearance towards Jose Enrique, who can bring it down on the left for us. And he chips up, Skelbred just beaten to it. Sissoko will get the second ball, though. Of course, became a Spurs stalwart in real life. We've got him here at Fulham this time, as Skelbred against Bentley. Never seen him work that hard defensively. Hangeland heads it away. Skelbred against O'Hara, wins it. Andy Johnson brings it down. Spins against Ledley King, finds Dempsey with a good ball. Beats Bale defensively and forces the save from the keeper. Really good work, that lovely move. Andy Johnson looking quite good so far today. Just a struggle to get him on the ball anymore, as Okora finds O'Hara up to Robbie Keane. And this is where we are under threat, because they've got 2 very good strikers up there. Bentley delivers the cross. Zakora's up, off the post, and Hughes clears. Going to be a long old day. If you remember last time we played Spurs, back at the start of the season, we drew 1-1, but we were under the cosh for ages. Then we got a late equaliser and finished really strong. It's another one of those where we've got to stay in the game, as Sissoko out to Enrique, the left back. At least we are starting to see a shape of a side that we would like to build for the future. With Skelbred back from injury, Enrique signed, Sissoko's in there as well, Albin we got in the summer, and Hangeland obviously was a stalwart that was already here. We've probably got half of the team we want now, as it's a long ball forward towards Andy Johnson, who's in one-on-one. He could be part of it, but that is a woeful finish. And the way he's playing, and with his injury record, I think we're probably better taking the money for him if it comes. Need to get him in a little purple patch before the end of the year and get a big offer in the summer, as we've got a free kick with Albin. Plays a 1-2 with Sissoko. Lovely move, that. Albin into the area, unopposed. Goes for the shot. It's a brilliant finish. And that is why he's been the best player this season, because he is the one person in the team. We've added some other good players, but here's the one person that can produce magic from nothing. Just played a 1-2 from a deep free kick, ran into the box, took a couple on, and then put it in the top corner with power. That is the class we're looking for. We can find another 2 or 3 Albins. We'll be in a very good position. Zakora finds Jamie O'Hara here. Out to the left to Modric. Is the equaliser going to be short-lived? Will Spurs refine the lead? Back to Modric again. Lovely effort from 25 yards off the woodwork. And he's another player who's got magic in his boots, isn't he? We know that. Full of 15 years following in real life, as Dempsey gets down the right to Skelbred. Breaks into the opposition half with Johnson. Chorluka does really well, because if he didn't get there first, he was never going to beat him for pace. Pansel's forced to foul Keane for exactly the same reason. With half an hour gone, it's a bit end-to-end this. Both sides not the best defensively. As Bentley puts the cross in, Enrique does well. And Dempsey will get out to the second ball. Really entertaining match this. And we've not been dominant by any streak, but we've been competitive again. And we've had the best chance on paper. As Keane gives the ball to Zakora. Up to Jamie O'Hara again. Finds Defoe. Robbie Keane. Space to run into. Bit of space 20 yards out. It's a great ball for Bentley, who's just offside. Keeper wasn't to know. Made a good save, Mark Schwarzer. 10 to the break, we're hanging on. Spurs starting to get back on top as Bale throws into Zakora. Say that, they've scored with their only shot on target. And it was a thunderous free kick. As Bentley brings it down, might change that. Good save, Schwarzer. And now Spurs have had one saved. It's out for a corner kick. We just need to get on the break, because that's where we've been the threat against them. Up to the back post. King against Enrique. And Ledley King wins it. It's over the bar. We're doing okay at the moment. I'm not panicking just yet. But I'd like to get to half-time without any more defending. But I've not got my wish, because O'Hara puts the ball in. Poor from Schwarzer, that. Falls for Chorluka, who puts it over. Defoe was closing in as well. We're kind of lucky the Croat hit it, because we might have been in trouble if it had fallen to Defoe's feet. Half-time, Sissoko's picked up an injury. Just cannot go well, can it? Cannot just have a good day at the office. Spurs have finished the half with a flourish. We've held on, and at half-time, look, there's nothing to play for. I'm not taking risks with Sissoko. So it will be, I think, back to the midfield we played in the Cup. Sissoko will come off for a two-hoo, and then Decor drops in. Andy Johnson starting to struggle again. Dempsey's not had the best game either. So we'll get to the hour mark, see if they can make an impact, and if not, we'll probably go and make changes. Hopefully a quieter second half to come, because we started that one okay. We really drifted at the end of the half. And here comes Spurs again as Decor clears it from his own 6-yard box. He's fallen to the magic man, Juan Albin, who's beaten two with such ease. Gets into the opposition half. Ledley King was one too many. He's the only person in our team who can just beat a player. We need someone on the other wing of that quality, because Defoe runs in at the other end, finishes easily. Unfortunately, we're not able to stop them. 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. That's a frustrating goal to concede, I've got to be honest, because it just sort of went through unopposed. Ledley King sets it up after making that tackle, and no one closed Defoe down at all. Dempsey and Johnson, clearly the two struggling the most on the pitch. There's a long ball forward towards Enrique, who clears well. Skelbred can now look forward to Andy Johnson. Got two running off of him. Johnson just takes too long. He's had such a poor season. Robbie Keane puts it in, and Andy Johnson, he's got to go off. I know that I'm asking him to play in a way that doesn't perfectly suit him, but the way he's performing at the moment is taking the mick a bit. I'm going to bring John Fleck on again for the experience, because this game's done, and we'll bring Gira on for Dempsey, who's still building up his fitness. Hopefully with an hour gone, we'll be all right, but we're not going to get anything out of this game, and it is a bit of a danger. We've got to that stage now, as I mentioned, where we're virtually safe. How do you keep the motivation for the rest of the year? With new players settling in, with injuries keep getting picked up, and with a striker out of form. It's a tough one, isn't it? But unfortunately, we're going to lose this game. Let's see if we can finish with at least a little bit of style and pressure. Well, a quarter of the game to go, and we're back with Jose Enrique. Big ball forward towards Fleck. Chorluka does really well. A two-who wins it back, though. Skelbred goes wide to Albin, who has looked the main threat today. Gets to the byline. Chance to cross. We're still yet to have a shot in the second half. We've had the only clear-cut chance of the match. Spurs have scored a brilliant free kick and two set pieces. Two counter-attacks, sorry. As Albin gets the ball in, Hangeland loses out. He's got another chance to put the cross in. Albin beats his man. Look at the pace. Into the box. Brilliant play. Crosses the ball. Cudicini missed it. Gira could have got in at the back post there, but didn't gamble. John Pancil's now having a stinker as well. That is the side we've struggled the most with Modric and with Keane. And with 15 to go, Skelbred's looking for Albin. It's a great bit of play. Ledley King does the saving work again. How many times has he saved Chimbonda in this match? A two-who misses his challenge. Enrique gets there before Genus though, and Decor puts it out because there's an injury. It's another one. They wanted a penalty, Albin, there for Chimbonda's challenge. It looked a little bit rash, but Ledley King's too good. He saved the day. And we're back with a Spurs throw on the right. Pascal Chimbonda with it. Zakora stayed on, so I'm guessing he did manage okay. Obviously played for my Luton side in 06, didn't he? Very much the villain in this one, though, as it's out for a corner. Look, the one thing I will say this season, we've stayed in games. We've not been beaten heavily too often. And when we have, it's normally been the very top sides. Sure, Luca, did he just handball it? No, he tripped Hangeland. I saw a handball in there somewhere. We're just over 10 to go. I want to make sure this is respectable. As Decor goes wide to Enrique, the defensive record is starting to concern me, but it's mostly individual errors as Skelbred hits the post. Great effort making that run into the box. If we can get a big, quick, quality target man up there next year as well. I mean, I'm just looking and thinking, when we get that half a team, we're going to be so good. As Albin goes for the shot just over. But again, we're finishing okay, and Spurs will be more tired after Thursday night. So maybe we could get one goal to make it a bit more respectable. As here we are again, 9 minutes to go. Carlo Cudicini drops the ball in goal. Throws out to Gareth Bale on the left. Gives it to O'Hara. Over halfway he goes. Has support from Defoe, who switched to the left side of the front two. Beats Aaron Hughes very easily. Hughes gets back at him though. It's forced back to Chorluka. And he slid it in for 4-1. Aaron Hughes embarrassed, not for the first time today. John Pancil wasn't even there. Chorluka scores his first goal for Spurs. Pancil's had a stinker today. Hughes had it last week. There's just one player who lets us down each time, and it's normally one of the 5 that we want to replace long term. To think we'd had more shots on goal at half time is quite frightening now, isn't it? as Hangeland loses out to Defoe. This risk getting embarrassing. It's the first time this season where I've looked and thought we could ship 6 or 7 if we're not careful. We get to the final few minutes. I mean, the positives we take from this game, Albin's played well, Skelbred's played well. Hopefully Sissoko's injury's not bad, we got him off quick enough. But look again, Hughes and Pancil are in the 5s. It's not good enough. We lose 4-1. It's a very disappointing episode. But it's very clear where the weaknesses are in our team. And at the moment, financially, we can do nothing about it. Hopefully finishing mid-table in the Premier League will give us some budget, will give us an opportunity. But it's not going to be forthcoming. Sissoko out for 9 to 11 days. Our 5-game unbeaten run comes to an end, but we lost in the Cup, so that doesn't really matter. And the rest of the season, it's going to be hard to motivate people. We've got a couple more tough games against Everton and Villa. Then we've got a sort of mix of relegation battlers coming up after that. I might even go through to the last 2 games because there's literally nothing to play for. We're going to have more exciting seasons moving forward. So I think we'll probably go all the way through, unless there's any big change of narrative, to Liverpool and West Brom, the final 2 of the season. A difficult episode today. We conceded 3 against Chelsea in December and in the League Cup against Chelsea. And then against Everton in the league in October. It's not something that happens regularly. We did it against United in the Cup. And then for the first time, we conceded 4 against Spurs. Not the best of episodes, but it's a difficult season to try and judge. We're changing the team as the season goes on. We've changed the tactic. We're changing personnel mid-season. And now we've just got to try it and stay solid. We're in 11th place. We're having a good year. And we'll be back to see the end of it in the next episode. If you enjoyed this one, seeing us getting battered for a couple of games, I'm sure a lot of you like seeing that, then please do chuck a thumbs up on it. Let me know what you think of the new signing. Let me know what you think of the areas I want to improve this summer. And how frustrating is it that we didn't get that Hughes for Diakate deal done. If you want to stay up to date and find out if we do it in the summer and see how our season finishes in our debut Premier League campaign, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back with more from this Fulham save soon. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And as always, thank you very much for watching, following along this first season, which will come to a conclusion next time out. I'll see you there as we look to finish in the best mid-table position possible.